It's one of the most annoying things that can happen to you in a car park. Someone pulls up behind you and parks you in. It's frustrating, even for a few minutes. So spare a thought for these residents. They've been parked in for weeks, and a legal loophole means there's nothing they can do about it.
So Adam, this is it?
That's the car.
What do you make of the way this Muppet's parked?
Yeah, I would like to speak to him if we could ever find him.
Adam Green has a very valid bee in his bonnet.
At first I thought it might have been one of the residents. Sometimes that happens. They have visitors and a car might stay there for a couple of days and no big deal. This went on for a couple of weeks and then people started scratching their heads.
This grey Holden Cruise has sat here in the car park of his share house for more than a month. It's blocking access to the spaces he and other residents pay for, so you'd think Adam would be able to have the car towed. But there's a problem.
Why not just call a tow truck?
It's illegal for us to remove the car off the property with a tow truck because there was no tow-away tow truck sign at the property.
You're joking.
It would be funny if it weren't true. Because the car hasn't been reported stolen and because there were no visible signs warning it could be towed away, under Queensland law, Adam and his neighbours fear they're at risk if they have it removed.
So you're all at the mercy of a legal loophole that means you can't touch that car now that it's here.
Correct.
How frustrating is that for you as a resident?
It's driving me nuts. Like, nothing can be done. At this point, it just stays there forever.
This is always an absolute pain in the neck for anyone involved.
James Ward from drive.com.au says the laws do differ state to state, but this situation is more common than most people realise.
We have seen stories where cars have sat for years at shopping centre car parks or at airports and things like that because it's simply too hard or too much of a headache to try and get them moved.
The Queensland Transport Department told us
the tow truck legislation authorises an accredited tow truck operator to be engaged to remove vehicles parked on private property,
but recommends
appropriate signage to provide motorists fair notice of the parking terms and conditions,
and
independent legal advice before entering into an arrangement with a tow truck operator.
Anybody can drive their car, put it in your driveway, walk away, and there's nothing you can do. You can never find out who owned that vehicle. It's there for as long as they want it to be.
And without that sign, if you tow it away, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Correct.
Adams resorted to using the backyard to get his vehicle out. And his neighbour hasn't been anywhere since the Cruise crashed their cosy car park.
If the owner doesn't comes in for the car, then I think it should be something should be done for this one now.
Sanam also lives in the complex and is equally as frustrated.
And also the one who left this car over here should at least inform the owner over here that if it's like not working or something like that, broken down or something like that, he should at least tell the owner. But the owner doesn't know that whose car is it.
For legal reasons, we can't show you the abandoned car's licence plate, but we do know it's registered, not to an individual, but to a car dealership. Problem is, no one can tell the residents here which dealership it belongs to.
We do need to find a slightly more, I guess, organised solution for it, because if the police don't get involved and the councils don't get involved and the tow companies don't get involved, you end up with people taking it into their own hands, and that can sometimes go wrong.
What needs to change here?
There needs to be legislative change. There needs to be police have powers to intervene in situations like this. Simple.
Some sort of protection for locals, right?
Well, for common sense.
So, I reckon I've got an idea what you could do with it, but our lawyers won't let me say it on air. We did reach out to police and council. Both told us that they're not authorised to help. So that is absolutely no help at all.